Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK. Hold on, I'm on the wrong channel. So yes, hello and welcome to Brick Life Travels. No, I'm not Matt. We've had to sack him from the whole channel. He's had to get in the Lego consultant to help him with a brand new redesign of the room. So I will hand over to Matt shortly. But as you can see, there's quite the Lego haul, and this will give you a clue at some of the specials Matt's got coming up on the channel as we have a complete Lego disaster series revolution.
So, with that being said, let's get to it. All right. So again, hello and welcome to the next episode of this series, which is all about this Lego room and of course my life. And a big thanks to Jay for actually coming over for this 3-part special. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a good couple of hours together up in here. It's going to get emotional quickly, but we've got 3 stages to do it with, and to split the videos up so they're bite-sized chunks, we're going to do it in 3 parts. So part number 1 is all about this and this. So we have, in the last couple of uploads, spun the tables around and done different bits and pieces over here, ready for a Jurassic Park display. And of course, well, this thing is massive and we want to get it placed. Obviously, it's not going to be built to this upload, but we need to make space, and we are going to be running a track around the outside with base plate. So it's all about track and base plate for part number 1. Part number 2 is then where it gets a little bit more fiddly, because we have to try and get 2 more Kallax units into this space just here. So it's these things just here, and then start moving some little bits and pieces, which will then free up the roller coaster that is going to be added into Ninjago for part number 3. So it's going to be an emotional few hours, but what we need to start on is a nightmare. It's all the way over in that corner, which you can't reach. Between us, we put that there a long time ago because it overlooked the Marvel bits and pieces, which was this stuff just here. Now it's moved, and it doesn't work beside the Star Wars stuff, and it's definitely not going to look right over a Jurassic Park thing. So what we're going to try and do, without smashing it, is we're going to try and grab it and move it. We're then going to try and put the treehouse,
Yeah,
with the T-Rex and potentially the carousel up in that corner. So the T-Rex is actually overlooking the new Jurassic Park land. So once we've got the base plates down and the track is down and we have got all of those little bits and pieces in place, we can then move on to the second part of this 3-part special. So not too sure how long this is going to take. Not too sure how much is going to get smashed, but stick around because it is going to get very interesting. But the first thing I need to do is obviously move these boxes. We'll keep these 3 up here. You've seen that now. You've seen that now. Of course, this is a beautiful looking thing, and it's going to be added to our Ninjago, but I'll speak about the Ninjago upload in the second part and in a little bit more detail. But we can just now make some space and crack on.
Well, so ladies and gentlemen, we said it would get off to a bad start, but I wasn't quite thinking this. So Matt's just moved the Jurassic Park box, as he said, to clear the table, and he's moved it across the loft ladders with such force he has now completely demolished the top of the Daily Bugle. So Firestar is now dangling on for dear life, and if he doesn't save her, she's about to go down the loft ladders. So he's going to have to try and get the tower back on the Bugle, which I think he's managed to do just behind the camera. But literally, he's like a Hulk in this place. No wonder everything smashes, because he has no finesse at all. So we'll see if we make any improvements, but we're going to have to try and move this set, as we said, in a minute. I'm a little bit worried, because if anybody's checked the aftermarket price of that thing now, it's a rather expensive set. So if that collapses, he's not going to be a very happy bunny indeed.
No, so it's all going to get very dramatic. We're going to get in each other's way as well, because obviously we've moved the tables around. There is a lot to move. There is a lot to do. We'll be fine. Jay is actually going to be mainly in charge of this one. You'll see me in the background doing different bits and pieces because, like I said, time is always limited for everybody that works over in the UK. You basically don't get any time to yourself. So I appreciate Jay's help, and I'm going to help him later on with his own project on his own channel. So where can you be found?
You can find me at Jay's Toy Collection here on YouTube, and that project he is talking about, we're going to lay a very similar thing to this, some more space in the loft so I can get quite an epic WWE wrestling ring display at some point.
So what I'm going to do as per normal is, as you know with the Disaster series, and if you are new to the channel, welcome, this is always raw. So I don't hide anything. If it breaks, it breaks. It is what it is. And Jay's just seen it firsthand how easy it is. And when he said about the box and the T-Rex, it only went there. I didn't get anywhere near the table and the whole top decided to fall off. Now, I don't know if it's my building skills, but it always does seem to go a little bit wrong. So obviously take it with a pinch of salt when you do see other people's reviews, because sometimes, for example, I don't know, the UCS Falcon is the worst thing ever to keep together.
We built that in my living room, didn't we?
We did, and it didn't make it home. That's how weak and flimsy that is, but it is a very good looking set. So what we're going to do as per normal, because it is a raw and ready upload, and Jay's in charge of this section, is he's now going to try and get the big thing out from the corner. And I'm going to be making space in the background. So this display over here, which is literally, I reckon it's about 72 hours old, if that, because this is just chaos. It's all to do with this T-Rex, mind. It is all to do with this T-Rex. We are going to be doing stuff here in a separate upload within this 3-part special. So even though it's going to be messy now, by the end of today, it will be done. So keep your eyes peeled on all 3. But we think, for ease, that massive thing actually has to come over here out the way for safety, because like Jay said, it's all fun and games if something does get dropped or broken. But I got that day 1 and it is fully complete. The minifigures are hibernating elsewhere, but they are obviously all a mix of Batman and from the Lego movie minifigures. So Jay's going to try and figure out how he can do that. I know how I would do it, but I'm going to let Jay try and figure it out.
I'm currently 1.1 meters away from the thing. Now, I'm about 5'10", but my full reach is about there.
And
so...
just because we're going to keep cutting each other off in this upload all the time, this is going to be like a Laurel and Hardy type segment. Don't write in the comments and say you feel sorry for him, because it was his bloody idea in the first place to spin these tables round so you were even further away from the corner, and then thinks actually it's a good idea to move the thing that you can't actually reach. Now, I'm not too sure if you're dirty or not, so you're going to get a live clean.
He does love a live clean.
Well, like I said, it's always uncut and it's always raw, and we just crack on and get on with it. And obviously in the comment sections below, let us know if there is any other dinosaurs that you'd like to see added to this, because this is going to be a big display. The plan of attack is to actually backtrack the original Jurassic Park sets, which I was stupidly missed out on them last year, and then to get the full wave of the new stuff that comes out in a couple of months' time. Jay is going to be messing around with switch tracks, there's train track and all the other little bits and pieces. And thinking of switch track, I know exactly where it is as well. We've left that in the truck, so I'm going to have to run out and get that. So I'm going to leave you with Jay for a few minutes. So yeah, Jay's going to carry on with that. He's going to take over and control and just speak to you. If we start talking about random stuff that has absolutely no context, I will add it onto the screen of what we're actually talking about, because this is how this upload is going to go. So Jay, take it away.
Right, okay. Now, I like moving my own figures around. I've just to say, about 6 months in to the Lego maneuvers, but the first thing I did was lay a nice grid down so I didn't have to move stuff. So this is the slight opposite of that. I physically have no idea how I'm going to get to that thing. So we've got the carousel that's down here as well. It probably needs a little bit of repair.
It does.
So we're going to have to do a bit of repairs, I think, and maneuvers on that. How on earth? We've got the Flintstone set here, so I'm live thinking on the fly. This is how my brain works with displaying. Flintstones is prehistoric. That potentially will work as a little Easter egg diorama within the Jurassic Park section. So we've got the Star Wars Republic gunship, of course. That has a very large wingspan, and that wingspan is right in the way of the Statue of Liberty set we have here from the Lego Movie 2.
Was it you or was it not you that said, oh, you have to get that and add it to your collection?
Yeah, you got a decent discount on that just before it was discontinued. I think you got that in the sale. So
yeah. So again, don't give him any sympathy. He's literally boxed himself into his own corner in my own Lego room.
So Matt's going down the loft ladders now, just clearing a bit of space. Now, oh dear, right, if we move the carousel forward a bit, how can I get down to this? So, if you've seen previous uploads, yes, this is the top of the Rivendell playset. It's decided to fall down as it usually does in here. And we are going to be moving that off the track at some point, probably in a future upload as well. So is this gonna, what's it even got this attached to? So I assume you can see your balance as he likes to balance you on the Avengers Tower. So that's the first bit of tree gone. So we've lost a leaf. So we've lost a leaf here. I think these belong to the the A-frame cabin, to be fair. We don't quite know how that attaches. We'll just stick that on there. Pretend it never happened. Right. So, how's this base looking? Worse for wear is definitely how I describe this base. So we talked about putting the tree house up in the corner, but it's not actually in this room. So I think he's probably gone off to find that, or if he hasn't, he needs to go and find the tree house. So there's the base of the carousel. Now, when I have done some Lego manoeuvres before, I've used, like, top tip here, I've utilised a baking tray. So if you get a nice solid steel baking tray, slide the set onto that, you've got a nice bit of grip. Maybe that is a technique we could use here. I don't know. Right, let's get the T-Rex over. So how is he? Oh, he looks nice and not very sturdy. So you're there, so it's going to clear a bit of room to come down. Right, let's move the Flintstones. That roof can come off. Get that out your way there. Right, so we can start to clear a little bit of space to get that down. But yeah, I think we might have to move the Republic gunship, which... And I wonder if we could crawl under the table and cut the other side. That would be quite a... He's back. He's back.
Have you not moved it yet?
Well, I've moved this. We've knocked some leaves off the trees. I've reattached those.
Brilliant.
Moved the T-Rex. So I've kind of made a gap, but I was just saying I've used bacon trays before to slide it onto a nice steel bacon tray.
That's not going to work.
And pull it. There was.
That's not going to work.
So as the Lego expert here, how are we going to move that?
Well, the gunship's got to come off. The loop coaster needs to be pushed forward, then you can reach around and pull the other thing out.
Right.
But you've got to be careful because obviously it's...
It could come a thingy. So we'll swap positions, I think, here.
Okay.
As I'll have to now remove his Republic gunship because if he breaks it, well, that's on him.
Exactly. Well, actually, to be honest, I think you move the coaster there and just lean over and grab it, can't you?
Okay, if you move the coaster, okay.
Just put the coaster here.
Right, I didn't think of that.
There we go.
There we are, see? Lego expert. How many years experience have you got with Lego now?
Many more than you.
I said 6 months is my time with Lego.
See, Jay's head now is going to be grinding because he's come up with a beautiful grid pattern,
Yes.
but it's for a city. It's not for what we're doing. So it's obviously what we're doing is completely different to a city feel. So loop coaster's going to have to just come over to this crack on the table. That'll give me enough leaning over, then possibly just to spin the wings round if I need to, and then hopefully I should actually just be able to lean on the tables without falling through it, and then actually just grab the Statue of Liberty. We will move this out the way for now, and it will be repaired. This is the one that just falls apart all the time. In fact, I'm going to put you bird's eye again. Yeah, we'll put you bird's eye so you can see.
There
You can see all the bits and pieces. That's why I quite like having the Avengers Tower on one side and the loop coaster on the other, because I can actually do it hands free.
Does make you some nice pivot points to try and get the camera on. I was saying, when is there some sort of attachment you can get to the ceiling so we can have permanent camera fixtures in here, and then you can edit all the different camera angles together.
Oh, that would be yeah. Instead of it being rough or ready,
Yeah.
it will be the most overproduced 400 replay.
Look, he's done better than me in terms of manoeuvrage there, as you can see.
Very interesting editing all of this back. There's a bit of the track. That's the old. Oh yeah, I didn't see it. That's the old school track.
It's a very different colour than the. So the old school is sort of 9 volt, is it? The old school track there.
9 volt.
A much more sort of faded grey colour than the modern track.
Yeah, it does. I think it works a little bit better, the old one, because obviously you can just plug it in and go, which is quite nice. But we'll soon find out what we're going to do with the newer one, that's for sure, because you're going to be having good fun putting that all down. We obviously, how many base plates do you think we're going to need
for Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Well, how many base plates in total? Don't worry about the colours just yet.
We need probably a row of 4. I'm going to have 4 rows of 16.
16. So don't forget, we need to leave a minimum of 2 for water. Because obviously that new one is in water. So we should, with the water and the green, we should actually have enough. And then we just have to figure out what it is we're going to do. So that's what I would have done. Just reached over and pulled it.
There you are, see? There you are. There is a...
But the question is now, is we're going to have to put that right where you are, I think. So I might have to pass it to you, and you might have to turkey twizzle reins.
Oh, I can go and stand in a gap.
Oh, there is a gap. Don't fall down the loft hatch, though.
Alright, so We'll apologise to Cheeky Monkey now. I'm about half. I'm about to go straddling the loft ladders. So one thing I think we need to get in this room is some form of cover for the loft ladders in situations where you might be taking a tumble.
Well, we don't want to be taking a tumble, so... Right, so this is the Statue of Liberty, and it is a beautiful looking set. So, as you can see, Jay is
hovering beautifully here,
over there,
over a loft hatch.
And I am in no rush.
Do not try this at home. It's the...
Stop moving, Jay. You're wobbling the Avengers Tower. You are literally wobbling the Avengers Tower. Right. So that is a gorgeous looking thing, which we will have a better look at later. Right, that's that space clear. All that drama for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So we now need to start putting the stuff back into the corner. That's too tall. We'll put you back. We'll put you back on the vantage point. So I'm going to be passing. That's your space, Jay.
Right.
Okay. I'll grab it. Jay likes it measured. I eyeball it and do it. Jay needs to know the exact.
First thing I did when I came up here about an hour ago, measured everything, and then.
What do you want it in?
Inches.
15.
15. Okay.
We are 15 by 20.
Okay, it's decent size.
So, what colour base plate do you want down there, and what's going on?
I would go with. Yeah, I'd probably go with green.
So, if you go with green, we will have to get some more for the Jurassic Park display, which is fine because I'd rather get that down and done.
I wouldn't want to put water unless you went. Couldn't put a tree. We could just a carousel, maybe grey, because we're on the pavement. We could kind of say.
Yeah.
Or. Was it 15 by?
Well, the treehouse has got water. A treehouse is a water base.
Well, the base plate would be.
I'm going to grab a treehouse.
The base plate is 10 inches, isn't it? So it's a base plate and a half.
Put some. The base plate is behind you. Just put some. Reach over and put some colours on there.
Direction. I'll just start with a bit of green because we got some green here. I have survived the loft straddle, so there's a good start. So what we're looking for in terms of size here. So we're probably talking 2 in depth, are we? Couldn't be close. Oh my god, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been here, what, 5 minutes? To the stud. Fits perfectly. So if he has any 16, if you've got any 16 by 32s,
yeah.
Because if you do, I mean, it's literally stud perfect.
Happy days. Yeah,
to the head.
Well, I've got the, yeah, we've
got
got some row plates that we can pull out. I've got some spares somewhere. We'll find them. I've got some 16 by 16s that might go in there as well.
Oh, a bit of a water plate there. We could run off the treehouse.
Yeah, we've got, it's all water based. That's
what
we're talking about.
I just grabbed this base plate.
Yeah.
This is an example. You can, oh, look at that size. That's literally neon perfect there, isn't it? If we run some water, you could have a bit of grass, bit of water potentially as an idea there, because the tree house has got a little river by the side of it.
Yeah. So I'll put this in the far corner.
All right.
I'm going to reach, grab the shaft.
Right by the shaft.
Grab the shaft.
Right, okay.
Put it in the far corner. I think that'll have to go in the far corner and the T-Rex is going to have to go in front of it.
So, let's see go. Right there, get myself with a pivoting now.
Yeah, it's a good looking set, that Lego Idea set. It was out for a good amount of time. I was thinking of putting it with the A-frame cabin, but I just don't think it will work. So that'll have to go all the way back against the brickwork, as far back as it will go. And then the T-Rex is definitely going to fit up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we'll fit the carousel.
No, it looked too crowded there. We'll just have that. The carousel can get homed elsewhere. That's okay.
If I were to water, and you could come off with the water under there potentially.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll put two. Well, I could either give you two big bits of water. We can just put blue, and we can just underlay.
Just do a bit of a tuck job to start with.
Yeah, so there's one.
There's one.
And there's top.
There's two. So we need to tuck those under. Pull this back out a second. I was thinking this treehouse in the city, but it is far too big.
It's massive, isn't it?
What I was thinking of doing with it.
It is huge. I'm slightly concerned. The Avengers Tower is wobbling. I don't know why.
Well, it was a floor earlier you wobbled and took the thingy. There is a...
Oh well.
Right. Put this in. Fill all the gaps then.
So I've been saying now since January that obviously this is all going to be coming together as a huge theme park. Everything's going to be base plated and tiles and everything else. So this is actually very unplanned for with regards to this set coming out. And we have got an idea of where that set is going to go. But we don't particularly want both massive T-Rexes on the bottom. So as Jay puts that on there, I think that'll look quite nice. And if he struggles, I can play tag with him.
No, I think we're an angle would look nice. And you're
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's really nice.
Then.
Yeah, that looks lovely.
And then if I get old Rexy, how articulated is this tail? Pretty good. This head.
So I'd have the tail wrap around it and their head facing forwards. That's exactly
what's going to work. Because then when we have a track underneath, it's going to look like they're.
Yeah, see it. They go underneath it. That is the plan for that. So that's what I thought.
That works.
So we have got a little bit of space on there.
Look at that.
We could add something slightly smaller into the water. We could put a little boat or something there. But no, that works really, really nicely. So that's two sets that weren't actually on display yesterday. So they have started.
With an achievement already so far. I think that looks quite nice.
And the nice thing is, where the blue is, we can actually reach whatever. Now, we have got the waterfall down there. Some things are going to get sacrificed. We can't get everything in, but that's what we were wanting to do as a backdrop to this. So what we will do now is we're going to have to put the base plates down next, and then put the loop coaster on the base plate. Give it X amount of studded space for the tractor then going around. And then we're going to sort of have to space as we go, I think. We're going to have two base plates of water.
We might be able to go 5 deep in terms of base plates, not 4, so we would need 20, not 16.
Yeah, no, we'll
potentially.
So I'll be passing Jay some base plates.
Let's just see what sort of length
I have got some big base plates if it's an emergency, but we can use what we've got, and it's not going to be that savage to add them.
Got any blue? If we run the blue off that, because you're going to want a water display for one of the new sets that's coming. So if we put the water maybe in that.
Well, I think the loop coaster is 3 base plates long.
Oh, let's have a look at.
Look by.
Yeah, it's going to be just behind the loop
so
coaster.
then it'll have to go 2 blue. It's either going to be 2 blue in the corner, or it's going to be 2 blue sticking into the tail with a bit of green after it. It depends on how big that, because what Jay's talking about, and I will, if I remember, I will upload the image on the screen. I won't remember, so I do apologise, but I'll try and remember. In fact, I know what I can do to remember. Right, so you guys and girls can now see the image of what I'm talking about, because I have just figured out a way to remember, but that is where it's going to go. So what you're looking at now is the big dinosaur with the boat, but it's on 2 stands. Now, the other option that we have got is the boat goes up at the top on the water, because then it's going by the T-Rex, and then in the water underneath is the thing it's about to fall into. So if we could actually get the waterfall turned and facing inwards, I know the waterfall will be a little bit high, but you could potentially have the waterfall facing into it as well. If not, it could get used in the Rivendell or other bits. We've got a couple of options that we can do with that waterfall, and it is a beautiful looking thing. But some blue base plates coming over for Jay.
Yeah,
Jay's
blue is just
2
blue. So yeah, because you've spun the tables, we've now got we've got 1 metre in width, but we've got 1.20 m in depth. So how much? We're going to have a bit of an overhang if we've got 5. How much?
So which way you go? You're going to go all the way.
I just want to see what, in terms of length, what we're looking like. So we'd have probably about 8 studs over.
Well, we wouldn't
we could trim the.
Well, we wouldn't put anything on it, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be a problem, so
No,
I think that's fine.
I think that is alright, isn't it? Yeah.
So we just have to be careful when the track goes on it, and also when the track attaches.
Because that'll be behind in the sort of in the alcove anyway there.
So are we going to put the waterfall on the blue? But what we've got to be careful of is the T-Rex is going all the way across the back of the table.
I think maybe we need to get the track
get the track
down
in
and
first.
then work that after, potentially.
Right, because I think what we can do is we can use the new T-Rex box and we can put that across the back. Because I think the T-Rex stand is about the width of that box, the depth. And it's just the full length of the table, isn't it? Because it's 1 metre long. So what we could potentially do is lose the back corner water base plate and have the 3 water, and then the very, very far corner one could be a slightly different colour.
Yeah.
And we could actually have the because that's where the T-Rex head is going to be. But because the stand would actually be on green, I don't think it would matter. But we wouldn't be able to put anything in that corner.
So we need to get the loop coaster, as you were saying, back over.
Yeah.
But we might want to lay the curve, just one curve first,
yeah,
so we know where
curve's going to have to go in first.
The loop coaster is going. So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera to the other side. I don't know what's going on with that. Something's not happy. Maybe I think there's something underneath the base plate. So I'm going to put the camera on the table.
Switcheroo.
So you can actually see what Jay's doing, because I think this is going to be quite a good bit of fun. So this is what we've done. So with two base plates, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so that's 13 base plates down already. Obviously now Joe's going to add in the curve, but what I was talking about is as this set that was on your screen before, we could have some of the water dinosaurs at the bottom, and we could actually just put the little boat up at the top, and I think that actually works really nicely as the T-Rex.
The T-Rex looks bleep hot, I would say,
yeah.
And against wrapped round that from this angle I'm viewing it, and right round that treehouse. That gives you a nice bit of height in that area as well.
Because this room's a little bit deceiving, because you might just see it on camera of what I'm doing, you might think it might not work there, but the second you walk around things and you see it from a different perspective, like for example, you can see it nicely between the 2 Marvel buildings where Joe's waving, and you can see the other little bits and pieces on there. Well, we could just keep the blue down for theming, and we're going to have the skeleton going all the way across the back of the table. So Jay's now going to put the track in, he's going to mess around with that. We'll then pick up the coaster, put it on the base plates. We'll kind of have to do it in sections with the track, I think. But if I put you down there, obviously, that's it. That's the standard drop.
No, that's it. Without dropping the camera.
And it is that easy to do. And I am just going to. You would think I'd have this a little bit more nailed, but right, you can see. Where can you see to? You can't see that corner. That's annoying, because that's where Jay's going to start, and you're going to tip. Fantastic. So no, basically that won't work.
Handheld, son.
I'm basically going to have to hold it for. Oh no, hang on. Go on, you carry on, Jay.
I think. You think I can fit behind you here? My goodness, there.
Hang on. Right there.
There we go.
You got a bird's eye view from the roller coaster of Jay putting in that first bit of track, and then I will carry on in the background, making some space for different bits and pieces.
Right, so we've got a fresh box from the Lego store of track, so we'll crack into our first one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
So you got yourself 4 curves, you have 8 straights usually in there, so 2 are straights, and then you've got your little sort of flexi track as well. So that's box number 1 opened. I'll start with the curve. And of course, as soon as you start laying stuff on base plates, the base plates like to move. So we will.
I don't like doing base plates.
We will. So you got every little connectors in the track. So you got to use the Hulk strength to pull them out. There we go.
Yeah, get it done.
Get your nice little pegs there, which you'll find your room littered with usually. So I think it's going to be 4-piece curve we're going to need to go round. So we'll get that done straight away. And I'll take off some straight. But yeah, this was why you say you had to move the tables into this large sort of rectangle so you could actually get the loop to actually connect together, because on the metre long tables you need a bit more depth than it was giving you. So I'll come off 2 that way, and we'll come off 2 that way. There we go. So that should give us a start of the loop. That works okay. I'll put 2 more over that end if I can get the things off. So you may be wondering, what's a train track got to do with Jurassic Park? But we were having a bit of a debate last week, coming up with some ideas, and it kind of just came to us really. I was like, hold on a minute. If you've got the Jurassic Park vehicles and put some of those like wheel extension things on you can get for train track, you could have literally like in the original Jurassic Park, you had the vehicles going around. You could use the train track to literally recreate that, and you can get all your vehicles. So he's gonna have to backtrack a lot of vehicles here to get this going. And there's your ride, because of course Matt is making a theme park, and Jurassic Park is, well, it's perfect for that because it is a theme park.
It is. That it is.
Right, that is your corner on. So it's probably time to move the loop.
Yeah.
Coaster, I should put a bit more in terms of curve off the bed. I think one more straight that side will do, yeah.
Right, so
that will be another.
We'll keep you up here for the time being, which I think you'll be able to see the track go down in a little bit.
So I would, I might actually put the other end of the curve on now while we've got a bit of.
You can reach.
Bit of freedom. So we'll crack open our second box and nick the curve. Just so we can get the right length on the curve. So they like giving you all the straight track, but they never quite give you enough curve in these boxes. So 3 boxes in, we will see. Right, so 2 curve. Again, the only thing with Lego on these tables, of course, you can't reach the other end because we're now, as I say, 1.2 metres away from the other end of the table. So it's a little difficult to actually do. Right, there we go. Right, there's another curve built for you. Actually, quite like my train track. First thing I did in my Lego set was lay the grid and lay the train track. And I thought, oh, let's go for a little train track. But I asked the missus, and she was like, oh, the whole table. So we've literally got the supersized IKEA tables, 4 of them, and a track running all the way around the outside. Cheap plug, you can go and see it on the channel. That's as far as we got. But is that now going to be too long? Yes, we are now too long, so we need to take out some of the straight. Take out one straight and see if that gives us a better length. So
just throw some train track.
Chucking the track out, you know. We're a bit too long, I had too much length, Sam. So
that is never been said before.
Take it how you will.
Take it as you will, but you've never had that problem before.
So, right.
Too much length.
Because that's going to want to go that length. Actually, that might be. That might actually be it. So there's a length there. And we might be debating a bit of switch track across the middle so we can run that through. So
yes.
Another...
So again, what Jay's just said with regards to what we're making, it's a theme park like it is in the original film, and we're basically using the vehicles as they would have done, because don't forget the original ones are on track. The remake is actually a theme park, but we're sticking with a hybrid of between 2. But what we want to do is actually put a little bit of switch track in if we've got the space to sort of dissect the land up ever so slightly, and then we can then maybe have a hybrid of the the original Jurassic Park, shall I say, and this new film, which does very much look like it is going to be going back to Jurassic Park.
It does, yeah. I quite like the trailer for the new Jurassic World with Scarlett Johansson in. Probably because I just enjoy a Scarlett Johansson film as it is, but let's see if I can get this waterfall. It's right in the way, so let's see if I can get it out. Come here.
Get it out the way.
Oh my God, there I am, full length. Come on, out you come. Right. One waterfall, try not to smash it. There you go, it's now a Star Wars waterfall for the minute.
It's quite nice moving stuff from time to time. You see how bad it looks against other things. It's never always perfect.
I've got the classic base plate hands. You can see there. I've got studded fingers.
Fantastic, well done.
Oh yes, that's the right.
To the cause.
That's the right length. There we go. Right, that's bang on the right length. Yes. Perfect. Right, put the track in there. So as you should be able to see now, we have a perfect semicircle curve, and it fits on the table. So he gets me over, it fits. He tried to do it by himself. Never fits. Look at that.
No,
First
that's
time,
it.
so.
First time. It's almost like he's never done this before in his own display, so he knows exactly how much needs to go down. Head over to Jay's channel again to see his own updates. You do update your Lego room occasionally, Jay, don't you?
I do, yes. We're currently trying to build a medieval and a Wild West section has disappeared out of nowhere.
Nice. Jay's found Bricklink, everybody.
Yes. Right, we are ready for coaster manoeuvrage, I would say.
How are you? You timed that at the completely wrong time. I'll put this back.
That's right. He's moving rather heavy boxes up and down the loft ladders. So let me put these base plates in.
So the track's going to give us that little corner,
Yes.
and the little corner, which you will see on camera in a second, and that little corner could potentially just be a small diorama, or we could add in some of these teeny tiny things.
Yeah.
You've got options.
Wow.
So I'm assuming you're
We'll do a switcheroo.
you're
Yes.
too petrified to move this.
Oh yes. I only move the cheap sounds. You see, so
Well,
the
no,
expensive stuff. So you can leave to you.
it's not to do with the price. It's to do with the brick count. Is what he's worried
Yes.
about. He doesn't want to build this. So I guess this isn't going to work, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a.
I guess the problem, well, it's not so much of a problem, but the thing to think of is, are we going to have this as a base plate?
Yes, I think the base plates are going to move as soon as you
Well, yeah, of course they are.
manoeuvre it.
Well, I can't pick it up because I'm at the ceiling height. So I'm glad Jay's here.
You've got about
because-
6 inches. If I can,
Go on then, pick it up.
if you can,
I'd love to watch you pick this up.
if you can grab the one end.
Yes, it snaps straight in the middle. You're going to snap that.
Yeah, okay.
You're going to snap that. Right, so welcome to a large Lego set in a loft, because what would work perfectly fine in Jay's garage needs to be slid off the table, cut,
Oh my goodness me.
cupped in the middle,
Oh
and then you've got to then pick it up and then put it back down.
my goodness.
Because there is no other way of doing it. But what I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted by the base plate, is are we going to have this as a working ride, or are the dinos actually escaped?
Well,
What way are we going to go for it? Did you have these base plates overhanging the table?
no, they were flush. Flush to the front, yeah. That was it. It'd be nice to have a working ride, I think, in the land, but I think I like the idea of escape dinos, so I can see.
Well, yeah, I
where
mean,
they're
we could have it so it was working and they've literally just escaped, and because the ride they do actually escape. Obviously, we've got the loop coaster in there with the track kind of going obviously all the way around it. So
Look at that. Ooh, that's going to fit in quite nicely. Well, I was worried it might not fit between the tracks, but it's actually turned out to be
no, it fit in between the tracks.
pretty
It's just
good.
putting the base plates down was probably a bit ambitious. We probably should have fed the base plates underneath the track. So if I want it straight, it would be there.
The only thing you might, and I know it should be alright, I'm just thinking you might have a problem with putting the skeleton at the back there, if it was that far
Because I can bring it forward.
back.
It's how much space we want beside the coaster, and then I can start putting the base plates back.
Put it,
Because I would
yeah,
have
put it, yeah, put it in. Yeah, you're still good with the track. Yeah, I think that might, because that leaves you more space at the back, which I think you'll need for the height of the. Because we went to the Lego store yesterday, and having seen the size of the T-Rex skeleton, it's large.
So we're going to have to come up with some sort of display behind this.
Yeah,
Because
should
got,
we?
well, half a base plate in.
Okay.
Well over half a base plate in there.
Okay. Well, we kept,
Because
depending on the size of the T-Rex, yeah, you could push it back and tuck it in. If it's going to cost too much space that way. Because the T-Rex, actually, you're going to have to head that in, aren't we?
Yeah.
So the head's high,
The
so
head's
you're
high.
okay then. Actually, maybe you
the
can
head's
go
high
into.
over.
Okay,
over that.
revert back into your.
Because ideally,
Tuck it in then, yeah, if you can, because it'll go over the top. I wasn't thinking that. That's fine. Then if you tuck it in, you won't lose the. You won't lose the space there.
So you can't put the track in front of this, can we?
No, I think your tuck in would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then go back in.
Because if we have this flush to the track, You just want me to move it, keep messing around with base plate. That's what you want.
Yeah, so, well,
I know
I do
exactly
take some pleasure in that
I
as
know
well.
exactly what you're thinking. But that is...
I'm already spotting now.
Yeah,
Now he's just done that. The
T-Rex.
T-Rex is looking very well. Actually, from the camera angle, looks pretty cool.
It does.
It literally looks like it's about to chomp it.
Obviously the track is now in the water.
We can add something to it. You get a train around your water, wouldn't? We could always
No,
move the water.
the actual coaster is in the water. So we're gonna have to swap the
water plates over. Okay.
So we're gonna have to have the water base plates up at the top.
Yeah. That's fine. We can put the green in there.
No, we could keep it there. It's just that we'd have to put maybe a blue one there and put the new,
water
new
there.
And just water,
It'll work because the track's got grey underneath
well,
it. They've built some concrete into the water. I've had my track running through a bit of.
Well, no, I don't care about the actual train track, but the actual roller coaster in Florida is in water, and it's just on the pillars.
That's fine.
So that's okay. So we can put.
That might quite look fun actually.
That one there.
Yeah.
Which looks nice, and then we can put. We can just pick a colour to go at the back now, can't we? I think that'll be a better way of doing it. Funny.
He's
funny.
Gone a bit far there, Sam.
No, that's just get the base plate straight.
Oh,
it's just the whole base plate.
Boost the thing.
It's moved your track and this all at the same time. I'm not too sure. Oh, this stuff takes
This
so
is
long.
probably the hardest bit to get in, just the sheer size of the thing.
Right. So does that look alright, the T-Rex looking at the loop?
Yeah, I like that.
So we've got diorama here, diorama there's going to be, that watery one's going to go there. We've still got a gap there.
Yeah. Let's close the green gap, created the blue one.
Right, that's to there, that's there, that one.
Yeah, I think if for today we go just to the 4 base plates and then we can deal with the back base plates after you've built the.
Yeah, I guess we could
just do that. We'll just have a track there and then we'll deal with that colour once you've got the standard built anyway, because you're going to have to move about with it anyway. So that's nice actually. And because again, it's going to give you have a nice dyno set now at the front because you've now taken that space back.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a set in there because there's so many varieties of sets coming for the new film, plus the ones to backtrack on the other.
Right, got to go the other side then, I guess.
So, only problem I'm now foreseeing is the good old friend the carousel, because it's too big for the top, and because we have to push the loop coaster back, because of the curve, it's taken the space where it would have gone.
We've lost quite a lot of space doing this, but
you can gain that with
that's
dinos.
not lost. No. That's the T-Rex space.
Yeah.
There's going to be these two corners up because we won't be able to put anything. We could
actually, this is you might be able to round this into the corner over the other side.
Maybe
on one of the corners potentially.
It could go at the back.
Potentially.
Because the smallest stuff's all going to go at the front. Right, you carry on with your
your base plate and trackage.
Tracking.
So, where I can put the carousel.
No, you can't pick it up. It'll fall apart.
Yeah, I was going to right. Okay.
So you're going to have to push it into the middle of the table for now.
Right. Okay. We'll get another set of base plates on. Where was it?
I just slid it on the actual table.
Yeah, I can slide it up there. I'll get that one out for a bit of track. Put that there for a second. Right, where's my straight?
Because we're 4 wide, are we? 4 wide, 4 deep?
Well, we're going to be 4 3/4 deep, but we'll be 4 wide. Let's see what that looks like. I'll just get do a classic pile shift up the table. Right, that's up there. I've randomly just found a piece I need.
Oh, I don't need it. You can take it away.
Put that there. Right. So, let's get these lined back up again. Right, okay, so straight. Right, where is the switch there? Trying to dig to find some more curves here. So I bought this random box of extra curves and things I found in my loft, so we're going to stick this one on first. So let's curve that in. And we'll have a play about with this.
So do you think we've got enough track?
Yes, you will have enough track. So the 3 boxes plus the curve from my loft should be enough.
Fantastic
So right, now I'll attempt to play about the switch track here, so I've got to switch in and see how much space that would take up. That's too tight. Right, so we are going to have to go one more straight. We have to impede over here slightly, so that should be fine.
Well, you can push the track further underneath the other way, because you can overhang that base plate.
We are fine, so we are literally just overhanging by a curve of track onto the next table. But if you're going for a base plate design, like I said, that's fine. But as I said, you might.
But if you want this base plate with flush, you can go off because you're level with that table, aren't you?
Yeah, to go.
But you could just push this over.
Yeah.
So you're level with that table, and then you can overhang by a couple. So you got
wiggle about the track. The track's going to overhang by a. That's as tight you can bring the track in. Otherwise, you bring it in here. So you are going to go. You can take one straight out, but that brings you all the way here. It's going to be too tight, I would say. But if I take that out, you're going to come in way there.
Oh, that might be all right, because you might be able to put smaller stuff behind it. So if it comes into here, we won't be able to physically get.
It depends what you're going to put here, because you can put stuff that fits on the base plate
system. Well, it's not, it's a road there and a base plate, so we can't have both.
Oh, that one's pushed over, is it? How far over is it? So there's a road and a base plate.
It's to the edge of the table.
Okay, so we'll have to bring it in then if we're going to do that. We're going to put a full size. This is going
to be looped round the road all the way around, and then we're going to have more buildings the other side of it.
Okay.
So we're going to have to, I'm afraid. We're going to have to stay in the perimeter of that crack, and then make it work.
We'll have to bring it in.
We've got no choice of that. We're going to just make it work with the space that we've got.
Okay.
But no, that'd be okay, because we can do bits and pieces on there. We can push those base plates over.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Okay, so
that'll be alright.
We'll bring that in, so we'd have to then. Okay. So that goes there. That would have to go.
What a random thing to find in the completely.
Oh! So a Gomorian guard has been found. Where was he located?
By a Christmas tree.
By a Christmas tree. So there you are. You can go. You can go back into Star Wars. You can go into Hoth for now. Keep him safe.
Yeah.
We'll see him in a few months' time.
Yeah. Hopefully. That is the plan.
Right, I'll leave one switch track in there. See what you think of that. Yeah.
Because obviously what we are going to be creating roughly now, well I say roughly, is don't forget a ride, because it's a theme park, not a Lego City display. If it's a track, it's going to have lots of different track on it and lots of different bits and pieces, and the set will go in between the tracks and all that kind of thing. So you're going to have like sets dotted all over the place from a diorama perspective, because obviously it's its own land. But then at the same time, the track itself is also the ride within that. So if we did, for example, find another home for the carousel, because...
Yeah, if we tuck the curve that tight, you're gonna have to find another home for the
fine.
carousel.
Okay, we'll find
Yes,
out.
you don't use a full 16. You make these custom smaller 8s. Then you can go one more track out and take this space.
Ooh, what do we do? Do we have? I don't know. I think that might look a bit. They might be a bit. The buildings might be a bit too close together. Do we think? Because if that was half the size.
How much more do we need? So let's do some live Lego mass. So we need to put the base plate in here effectively.
Yeah.
So it's 4, 5.
Well, I can make that one. I can make that half that size.
Okay. So let's tuck that there. Let's add one more straight in to see where the curve would go.
Okay. Yeah, because we've got these are 16 by 32s. So if I was to get an 8 by 16, and you just made a narrower path on this side, that could work fine. Yeah, that'd be alright. That would fit.
Because we want to go there.
Yeah, that would fit. Okay. So we'll just have the track there. That's alright. We can make that work. It won't be.
Yeah, so you
it won't be too tight.
Literally.
Let me guess. Off by a stud.
Well, it's 4 studs to the base plate, but to a straight line down there. Roughly there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You've got to lose 10 studs between two.
Between two of them.
Between 2 of them.
All right.
So you've got to do 5 studs a pair if you were to do it evenly.
Yeah.
Or one becomes a
tiny walkway.
One becomes a walkway.
Would you a walkway? Okay.
Yeah. If one becomes a walkway.
Yeah.
Then that stays as a road.
Yeah, that works.
Then we can then go to here.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So there is method.
And now you've now got a chance at switch track now. We can curve that back in, so that will give us more options. So if I haven't got enough curve, we've got enough curves to the outside, not for the middle, but I can curve these little jimmies.
There we go. See, they come in handy. So we've got one more box still to open. Or?
Yes, no. I didn't open curving in case we didn't need it, but we need enough curve, so we will need it.
Okay,
so
that works.
That would be the exact same size as a normal curve.
So are we, before you...
So just roughly...
Before you... Because Jay gets very carried away with these
I've obviously seen if I could do a curve there.
Are you going the track through the gate?
That's what I was thinking.
Are you going to do it off a switch track, or are you going to do it... Where are you going to do it?
I don't know, hence I was just playing with that just to see if I could curve that to a straight and then have it straight through the gate.
Would that fit at the angle there, with it going straight through when it attaches behind it?
Maybe. Just to curve that.
Because the gate is going to have to be away from the T-Rex. You're going to have 3 big bits and then all the small stuff around it.
Yeah. We might need some more proper curve to tuck it that way. I don't know. We'll experiment with that. But we need to now, oh goodness me, right now we're going to have a bit of a fruity session, because if we're going on this line, there's something slap bang on the middle of this line. We're going to have to move it over.
Well, that is all going to be moved anyway.
Or in, because that's where we now need to. So we're making good progress, I would say, here.
Yeah. I think the easiest thing for now is slide it over, because then we can rehome it in the second part.
Okay, we'll do that then. So,
that's the easiest thing.
So carousel's slid enough. So the gates now need to slide. And if I take this blue base plate out for now, so we can then slide stuff a bit easier. Where is your sliding point?
Lean, grab and pull. Yeah, so I suppose you don't want anything really big and tall in front of the new T-Rex, so the 3 big things just have to be split up, and then all the smaller stuff is more of a easy to manipulate and move, isn't it?
Right. Oh my goodness me. We looking okay?
No, you take the tree off the roof.
Tree off the roof, okay.
You have to just pull it around the other way.
Go a bit.
That's it. No, you have to go left. You have to go just straight across. Right, as normal, the battery ran out, and I've just been given some really nice news as well. So all I've done is bugger off, get another battery, come back under and carry on. And he's just looked at me and gone, oh, by the way, you're going to have to crawl underneath the table to be able to connect the far back of the track. Oh, thanks very much for that. So you're hearing noises in the background. It's because I am making space for the second part. Like I said, we've got 2 calyxes that are going to be going in, and then that will then free up the Rivendell because we have got quite an exciting news for the Rivendell and the Ninjago. It's all linked to this big move. So the last couple of uploads, table moving, and now Jay's going to be carrying on.
Right, so yes, we're about 3/4 of the curve done, maybe 2/3. So we're going to clip a bit more on as we go around. Right. Need some more straight, and I think we're going to have to open our final box of track, and we are going to need a complete another curve.
Now, do you want me to get the old school curve? Will that work or not?
No, we've got enough. We've got enough. No, we've got enough. You bought enough. The 3 plus the extra I found in the loft is enough curve.
That's
all
right then. So what Jay's just basically done to me is I've just made all this space over here by sliding stuff behind my crawling space behind the table.
Fantastic.
Now I'm going to have to pull it back out to crawl there so I can get to back at the table. But luckily, put it in tidy. So,
as he makes his way around the back, I'll open our 4th and final curve. Which will take us in. 4 curves. We've got a chap playing a violin, I've just found. We've got a guy dressed as a wolf. There's all sorts of minifigures. Venom's head.
Yeah, all sorts of minifigures. It's full of shorts, isn't it?
Oh!
I found the box.
Oh, hello.
I found a box for Jay. I think this is actually built. Oh, it might be in the pirate ship box, which is I've just taken downstairs. So
I'll look for that. Yes, I'm doing a Wild West display, a Pirates display, and a medieval display along with the city. So we've got a bit of a Lego exchange going on here. Yes. A bit of a track for pirates.
Bit of a trade-off.
Right. I'm going to attempt the switch. Should we attempt the switch track?
We've got to add it in.
Okay, right. So I need to give the other piece of switch track, which is in the other box, which is... Wherefore art thou switch track? There was...
It's been put on the floor by mistake.
Yes, well done. Okay.
So, in case you're wondering, this room is a vortex. If anything gets put on the floor, it just disappears. I'm glad it's happened to Jay as well. It happens to me all the time.
How many straights have you got? Is that just one piece of straight you can see that in?
Yes.
1 straight. So we need a switch track plus 1 straight. So that's fine. So that's what your connection will. If you attach the switch track.
Attaching of the switch track.
That way.
Switch track.
Other way. That's the job. There we go.
Facing the wrong way.
Yeah, we've only got 2 bits of switch track that face the same way, so that'll be enough curve.
Are you going to connect that switch track?
We're going to have to try and put a curve in to try and curve the other way.
Curve.
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm trying to big curve both into a thing.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you'll have to buy a box of switch tracks. Unfortunately, I only had 2 pieces of switch track that were switching the same way. There was. We were trying.
If it's easier doing it, switching it.
We will have a fiddle with that.
Yeah.
There was so. If I give you that, if you curve in.
Clipped.
Oh, there you go. I think we're spot on.
So we haven't actually yet levelled the tables up.
No.
So Jay hasn't actually seen that upload yet. It's there is. I did say we can level these up, which it will happen.
So that is all. The loop is complete.
Fantastic.
For the loop. But we'd have to try and see if we can curve these in a bit. So see, so that would give us a right. Okay, that would come in. If you attach that to your switch track.
Can you see a slight problem with the switch track?
It may not.
Well, it's not just that. It's also the T-Rex now is not able to stand.
Yeah, it may not work. Or we could do it as a facade of a switch track. So we switch it at the front, and it ends in front of the gate. So it gives you.
We could do
that.
You could just bring it into here.
I think because we could then put it. I think we might have to do that because you are right. We're going to run out of thingy. So switch track out.
So if this one here was a switch track,
yeah, you can put it there.
Can it connect just to this bit? Could you just curve it to here?
It could, but that's the wrong switch track.
If you've got the right.
If you've got the right switch track,
it could go to here.
Yeah. So if you replace that switch track you've just put in with 2 straights, that will.
Yeah,
that's not going to work there. So you learn on the fly, ladies and gentlemen, as you work this through. You have an idea in theory, you've got to test the hypothesis. It's like being at school. in science class with
Honestly,
Lego.
you are just like the magician from the New Ninjago film. It's like I said to you yesterday, using all of these. This is the what do they do as a warm up show before they actually do the show? He uses all that technical term.
Yes.
It's like this is just opening night. Oh god.
Right, so we've got a curve in. I don't think you're attached. There we go. We're fully clipped in. Right, so that is a full loop. Literally, moving the tables work perfectly because you need literally that extra curve there, which you'd have had no chance on with a 100 by 60 table. But making it 120 by 100 gives you that opportunity. So we've managed to do that. So the Jurassic Park land is coming together quite nicely, I think, here in terms of the layout of it. But to do the rest, we'd have to move all of this to get it all in.
That's all right. Well, have we got anywhere we can put it?
Yes, this might be our segmentation.
Or will it be easier to build the characters next? And then
it may be, I think, and then
all right, we'll do that then.
Return to that. So Matt's going to crawl back round the table now.
Before I crawl, I suppose when the sets are off, we'll be able to see the switch tracks are off. So we can't get any more base plates down yet either, can we?
Not with this in the way. We can't lift this. We're gonna.
All right. So we're gonna have to do a dual. We're gonna have to do a dual thing because you're gonna carry on with that as I build the characters.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do here. But we have one serious loop. And it may be the first time in this room you've had a fully connected.
It is.
Loop.
It is indeed. Right, so progress has been made in case you couldn't see much is going on. Jay has now connected all of this up. There's a switch track coming through onto here, and I think the plan is we're going to maybe just connect it in to that corner. Just have like a bit of cheese going across, which will look nice. Then we can put something smaller in here because it gives us a little bit of diorama space. Just don't forget the track is like a path. And then we will try and get the track going into the gates and it stops. Or we could just have it as a dead end. So it doesn't actually go through the gates. The gates are open and it stops there.
Yeah.
Because that way you can go forward and backwards and round.
You always want your construction crew working on things. So I've just seen a little digger.
Yeah, there
he is. Get him a sign. We'll get him a little under construction. We could have something potentially. We could take the kinks out and put a straight bit in, which would look a bit neater than the.
All right, well, we'll be playing with all that kind of stuff in the next part of this three-parter, because obviously we are now stuck. That wasn't the plan, but it means we can actually just carry on, so that's all right. Yeah. So plan of attack now for the next upload is going to be moving all of these bits and pieces out. Jurassic Park gates with the track at some point will be obviously in, and the base plates will be going down for that. And then I've got to build the calyxes up and put them back in that gap, which I've now just filled back up with different bits and pieces. But for now, in this part, that is it, and we are done. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care and I'll catch you next one.